Grandmaster Fabiano Caruana, USA, vs. Grandmaster Jingyao Tin, Singapore. FIDE Olympiad 2024, Round 2. Grandmaster Fabiano Caruana is back above 2,800 after beginning the 45th FIDE Chess Olympiad with a sparkling win over Singaporean Grandmaster Jingyao Tin. Round 2 of the Olympiad is traditionally when we see the big guns wheeled out, and that was the case this time, with world number 3 Caruana drafted in to face Singapore. He didn't waste any time stamping his authority on the tournament as he crashed through against his 24-year-old GM opponent. That result saw Caruana climb back above 2,800, joining only Carlsen and GM Hikaru Nakamura in the most exclusive club in chess. The first game I want to focus on is Fabiano Caruana versus Tin Jingyao from the USA versus Singapore match. The star-studded American team won convincingly with 4-0, but it wasn't as easy as it seemed. Let's take a look. In this position, Fabi has just played the move c5. The idea here is to play b6 next, and once the queens are off the board, after queen takes f5 for example, the p7 pawn would be weak for the rest of the game. Here, this move already proved to be too much for Fabi's opponent, as Tin Jingyao played the move c takes b5. But before we see what followed in the game, let's check out what is the engine's best suggestion. According to Stockfish, Black should play bishop b8 instead, immediately getting the bishop out to a more active diagonal. A game could have continued with queen takes f5, knight takes f5, b6. Again, it's this idea that we talked about the b7 weakness. Knight f5 will be next. Bishop takes c5, rook takes e5, takes, rook d5. We don't want to lose a tempo, so bishop takes f6, g takes f6. And in this position, white should have the advantage. Again, it all revolves around the b7 pawn. But here, as black's rook on d5 is very active, we want to get rid of it first, before we focus on pawn grabbing. That's why the best move in a position is rook takes a2. The idea is to go rook d2 and simply exchange the rook. There's a nice tactic that could occur in this position. Let's say if black wanted to exchange the knights in order to make the protection at b7 easier. After knight d4, there's the fantastic move, rook d2, simply leaving the knight out in the open. If knight takes b3 followed, after rook d5, c takes d5, c6, b takes c6, b7, white would promote the pawn and d up a queen. Therefore, this wouldn't be very desirable for black. Anyway, this shouldn't have happened necessarily, and bishop b8 is still black's best try, and the toughest defense. Let's see what happened in the game though. After c takes b5, Fabian played the move queen b7, taking a pawn and attacking the bishop on a7. From here on, he should have seen a fantastic variation to evaluate all the complications. His opponent followed up with queen c2, knight to d4. Notice how everything is hanging in this position. White has to be precise, otherwise he would lose his advantage. So there we go. Knight d4. Queen takes c5. Knight takes c6, queen f2, king h1, f takes c6, and queen e7. So in this position, white is a full rook up. That's why black played the move rook d2, as it is essentially a double attack. Black threatens mate on g2, as well as taking the bishop on b2, partially regaining some material. There is one big flaw in this plan though. It is actually white who gets to the black king first. So, the game continued with queen f7 check, king h8, knight g6. Notice how everything comes up with check. All the regrouping of white's forces comes with tempos, as white doesn't want to lose any moves. So knight g6, king h7, knight f8, king h8, queen g6, simply defending against mate. Turn takes b2. Black is now only an exchange down, but he already faces more serious problems, as knight e6, threatening checkmate on g7, is pretty much a devastating threat. In the game, Tin Jingyao played the move knight h5, defending against mate on g7, and preparing one last trick. If white is not careful here, black could follow up with the move knight g3, breaking the connection between the queen and the g2 pawn, and after that, after the check, he will take on g2 with mate. However, he didn't take into account that white can defend with checks. So Fabi played the move queen e8, king h7, and after knight g5, black actually resigned. The reason for that is, after the only move in the position, h6 g5, white can capture the knight on h5 with a check. So, black would be forced to move the king, and after king g8, white can continue with the move rook e8. Now, the only save from checkmate would be to play queen f8. But after that, well, black is down the full queen and can't expect much from the rest of the game, right? So, to sum up this game, I just want to say, this was an impressive calculation by Fabiano Caruana. He just took the chance, and he never looked back. So, congrats to him, and now let's focus on other games from the round. Thank you for watching the video. Please like, share, and subscribe.